I'm going to share the secrets of a show-stopping dessert where the main ingredient is bread. Isn't that unlikely? I know that doesn't look delicious yet, but trust me, it will. It's peach and berry summer pudding. It's a classic English dessert, and it's delicious. And I'm just going to unmold it. So you run a knife around the outside. This is layers of bread and fruit, all allowed to macerate overnight. I'm sure it was originally started because it uses up leftover bread and fruit, but it's so good you can make it with fresh bread and fresh fruit. And if I'm lucky, it's going to come out of the pan in one piece. Oh, how fantastic. So let me turn the clock back 24 hours and I'll show you how I made it. Summer pudding is basically layers of bread and usually berries, but I kind of want to ramp up the flavor. So I'm going to use French brioche loaf and a mixture of cooked berries and peaches. They'll be really great together. So this is the brioche. It's an egg bread. It's kind of rich. It could be challah. It's the same kind of thing. And I've cut it in half-inch thick slices after I cut the crust off. And this is the peaches and berries all cooked together. It's just gorgeous. I'll show you how I made it. I put a pint of hulled and sliced strawberries into a pan with 1½ cups of sugar, 1/4 cup of water, and cooked them over medium-low heat. After 5 minutes, I added 2 half pints of fresh raspberries, 2 half pints of fresh blueberries, a pound of peeled peaches cut in half-inch dice. I brought everything to a simmer, then I cooked it for another minute, turned off the heat, stirred in another half pint of raspberries. I added them now to keep them whole. And finally, 2 tablespoons of framboise, which is raspberry liqueur. So, big spoon of fruit and the juices too. It's really important because that gets into the bread. In the bottom, and then a layer of bread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bread so that it fits perfectly in one layer. You can even tear it. It doesn't even have to be cut because you want it to end up being like a little cake. You can do this in any kind of a dish. Just remember that the bottom, when you turn it out, becomes the top. So choose something that'll look nice that way. This is going to be fantastic. I'm just going to keep going. So I'm just layering fruit and bread all the way to the top of the dish. And a final layer of fruit and syrup using every last drop. With the pudding assembled, I'll cover it loosely with plastic wrap. Put a plate on top, approximately the same diameter as the inside of the dish. Weigh it down with a heavy can to compress the layers, and put it in the fridge to chill overnight. I just want to show you the inside of this. It's incredible. Just cut it like a cake. Wow, love this. It's a great summer dessert. I'm a big believer in having a few recipes you can make in different variations all year round. So I'm going to teach my friend Frank, are you paying attention?
Yes, ma'am.
How to make fruit crumbles. You can make apple crumble in the winter, and I'm going to make peach and blueberry crumble in the summer. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Okay, so first for the topping.
Okay.
First you need butter.
Why did I know that was number 1?
So I'm going to take 1/4 pound of unsalted butter. It has to be really cold.
Okay.
And I'm going to dice it up.
Something tells me you've done this before.
Just a few. Except at Barefoot Contessa, the instruction would say dice 36 pounds of butter. Okay, next thing is a cup of flour.
Okay.
Are you writing things down?
I'm writing everything down.
Okay, good.
Don't worry.
Just checking. 1 cup of flour.
Got it.
1/3 cup of sugar.
Okay.
1/4 cup of brown sugar, light brown sugar.
Why do you use 2 types of sugar?
Brown sugar has a little bit of molasses in it. It has a sort of nice depth of flavor. And you want it lightly packed, not like that.
Okay.
Just lightly packed. Put it in. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And the last thing is cinnamon. About 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon.
I'm surprised you put cinnamon in this.
I don't know, it needs a little spice, doesn't it? It's sort of like apple pie spices.
If you say so.
Okay, just mix that up. And just add the butter. And so I'm going to mix it until the butter is like the size of peas.
Peas, okay.
That should be about right. So then, when it's still like this, then you just press it between your fingers, and it really mixes it together.
Okay.
It's good and messy.
Good and messy.
Perfect. So you just want it so it's big crumbles like that, and then it's going to bake really nicely. Okay, so blueberries and peaches. One for you.
Great.
One for me.
Great.
And I'll show you how I put the fruit together.
Great.
I started by poaching 2 pounds of fresh, ripe peaches in boiling water just for about a minute. This is a really fast way to get the skins off. Then I fished them out and put them in ice cold water just to stop the cooking. Then peeling them is really easy. The skins just slip off. Then I slice them in thick wedges, about 8 wedges per peach, depending on how big they are. Sprinkled over 2 teaspoons of fresh lemon zest, 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, some granulated sugar, about a half a cup, depending on how sweet the peaches are, and a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. This makes a little bit of a sauce when they cook. Then gently mix in all the fresh blueberries, the peaches, and put them in all of the ramekins. Okay, time to do the crumble.
Okay. So how thick do you make that? Is it
Just
like a half an inch or just covers the fruit?
Covers
or-
the fruit, yeah, that's a good one.
And you don't pat
Covers
it
the fruit.
down or?
No, because you want it to sort of brown when it's crumbly. If it's patted down, it won't have like edges.
Okay.
And actually, I do it on parchment paper on a sheet pan, not because you need the parchment paper, because when it bubbles over, you don't have to wash the pan.
Yeah, that's as good.
Right?
This
You can
is
just throw it
important.
away.
Yes.
Okay, just enough on each one. These are going to go into the oven, 350 degrees,
Okay.
for about 40 to 45 minutes, until they're nice and brown and crumbly. But you know, the good news about this is they last in the refrigerator unbaked.
Oh, good.
So how about if I just bake off 2 for you and me?
That sounds great.
And then we'll have 4 for another time.
Okay.
Okay, into the oven. I'll be right back.
Can't wait. So what other kind of fruit can you use in a crumble?
All kinds. How about we have a cup of coffee and I tell you about them?
Tell me all about it.
Well, you can't beat an old classic like old-fashioned apple crisp. I made it when Devin and Eli Zabar came with their chic French friends. It was real comfort food, and you know how I like to serve up something casual when people are expecting something fancy.
Yes, I do know that.
And then you can add things to the apples, you know, like pears. I remember I made that for Jeffrey one time.
He must have loved it.
And then at the barn warming, when the barn was finished, for real autumn dessert, I had cranberries. And I had individual cranberry, apple, and pear crisps.
That sounds terrific.
Raspberries are also great in crisps. They're great with peaches. Once I had a potluck party, and my card shark friend Mark made them.
I don't remember being invited to that party.
I think you need to play cards. You hate cards.
And I don't play bridge, you're
Yeah.
right.
All right, you ready for blueberry and peach crumbles?
Wow,
Peach and blueberry crumble. That looks pretty good, doesn't it?
looks delicious.
Okay, you need a little vanilla ice cream on it.
Can only make it better.
I love the way the blueberries drips out the side. Okay, gentlemen, start your spoons.
Thank you.
So this looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Wow, that's delicious.
I love it. It's crumbly and sweet, and its texture's good.
It's awesome.
Lemon mousse is one of my favorite desserts. Unfortunately, it's one of Frank's too. So I'm going to make Frank and Steven. And now I'm going to make the base of the lemon mousse. So the first thing I need is 3 whole eggs. And then I'm going to separate 3 eggs. I'm going to put the yolks in the base and whip the egg whites to make it nice and light and fluffy. Okay, next I need a cup of sugar. And lots of lemon zest, 2 teaspoons. Half a cup of freshly squeezed lemon juice. I'm just going to whisk it all together. A little salt. And I'm going to put this over a double boiler and just cook it until it thickens. So the first thing I need is half of the egg whites, 2 tablespoons of sugar, just to sweeten it a little bit, pinch of salt, and just whip those on high. I'm going to get the cream, and I'm going to get the base for my lemon mousse. Just done. So I'm just going to take this plastic wrap off the base. So you make a really thick custard, and then you lighten it by folding in egg whites and whipped cream. And that's how you make a mousse. And this is the thing about folding, is you just want to put it on top and then fold it in slowly. You want to do nothing that will deflate the egg whites. Put the spatula down in the middle and then just fold it over really carefully. You can really smell the lemon zest in this. So now I'm going to whip some cream, make it even lighter. Hard to imagine cream is light. Okay, 1 cup of cream. And you can just do it in the same bowl. So I've whipped the cream. I'm just going to pour it on top and fold it in. This is so many layers of things, but the good news is you can make it in advance and let it sit in the refrigerator for a long time. Just want to fold it in really carefully, just like the egg whites. Make sure you don't deflate them. Okay, and then I'm going to give it extra special flavor. I'm going to put in half a cup of lemon curd. Gives it a real lemon bite. It's about half a jar. And then fold that in. Again, carefully, but not too much. But this is really good. So good. So lemony. You can really taste the zest and the lemon curd, and yet it's really still very light. So you can really do a lemon mousse just like this, but I'm going to make it extra special and decorate it with cream and lemon slices. It's not easy to make an entire meal from local ingredients. I think it's really important. Not only do you get much better ingredients because they're ripened on the vine, but you support local businesses, and that's important to do. So I thought I'd really challenge myself and see if I could make an entire meal based on local ingredients. So I've made the appetizer, and now I'm making dessert. It's a fresh peach cake, and it uses local peaches and local eggs, and I'll show you where they're from. The eggs come from Amber Waves Farm, which is run by 2 adorable girls, Katie Baldwin and Amanda Merrow. They met as farm apprentices and started the farm a year ago. And it's so cool because it's a nonprofit, community-supported agriculture, and it's also an education project. Can you believe they have 54 free-range egg-laying hens and 1 rooster? That's a busy rooster. And are growing more than 100 varieties of fruit, vegetables, and flowers, all on just 2 acres. The peaches are from Amagansett Farmers Market, which is run by my friend Eli Zabar. He works so hard to support the produce and the products of local farmers and artisans. This is the peaches all ready to go, and now I'm going to make the batter. So I've already beaten 1/4 pound of butter, room temperature, and a cup of sugar, and now I'm just going to add the eggs. And these eggs are from a local farm. Aren't they just amazing? Look how gorgeous that beautiful egg is. So I need 2 eggs. Always crack them into a bowl. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. Dark yellow. Wonder what this one is. Look at that. You can tell when an egg is really fresh, the yolk really stands up. So I'm going to put it into the batter 1 at a time. I'm going to let it mix in completely. We'll get all the egg. Just make sure that's nicely mixed in. Next is a cup of sour cream, which is 8 ounces. It's the whole container. Just put it right in. Make sure it's nice and rich and delicious. Turn it down a little bit. 1 teaspoon of good vanilla. Yeah. Okay, next the dry ingredients. 2 cups of flour. Remember, with baking, it's really important to measure correctly. There's no point in making something if it's not going to come out right. So just lighten the flour, and then just carefully level it off with your finger. Perfect. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And just 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just sift it all together. I don't know, there's nothing like the smell of warm peach cake in the house. It makes everybody happy. Okay, with the mixer on low, just gonna slowly add it to the batter on very low speed. Perfect. Okay, that's the batter. Now I'm gonna make layers of peaches, cinnamon, sugar, and batter. This is gonna be good. So first I need the cinnamon sugar. 1/2 cup of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I love peaches and cinnamon, a great combination. stir them together. Smells so good. So I've got a 9-inch pan that I've greased and floured, and it's just gonna be layers. I'll show you. So I'm gonna pour half the batter on the bottom of the pan. It's a very thick batter, which is good. It'll look thin. You'll be surprised how much this cake is gonna rise, because remember we put a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda in it. Okay, next I'm gonna do half the peaches and 2/3 of the cinnamon sugar. So just line the peaches up right on top of the batter. I mean, how good does this look? It's a really simple cake, but it's got so much flavor. Okay, and then 2/3 of the cinnamon sugar, just right on top of the peaches. And next, the rest of the batter right on top. And just spread this out with a knife. Just cover the peaches, thin layer. Just want to make sure they're all covered. And I'm going to cover it with the last layer of peaches. I'm going to do 3 rows of 6. Okay, perfect. And then the rest of the cinnamon sugar. And then the last thing is I put some pecans on top, about a half a cup, just rough chop, and just sprinkle them on the top. Oops, gorgeous. Okay, into the oven, 350 degrees for 45 to 55 minutes until the cake tester comes out clean. This is gonna be so delicious. It's Jeffrey's birthday today, and he hates big celebrations. So I told him I'm gonna take him to lunch, but first I have to make orange pound cake. So I've started with half a pound of butter and 2 cups of sugar in the mixer, and I've beaten them till they're nice and light and fluffy. I'm gonna add 4 eggs, just 1 at a time. It's really important that the butter be at room temperature, and that doesn't mean it's out for like 20 minutes. It means it's out for several hours, and then everything else gets incorporated so the cake is really light. Because it's orange pound cake, I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of orange zest. It's a lot, but it really makes it delicious. Okay, next is the dry ingredients. I need 3 cups of flour. Just lighten it and level it off. I always do it in the sifter to make sure there's nothing in the flour that you don't want in your cake. And it also combines the flour and the other ingredients. Next thing is half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, and just sift it all together. And that's the dry ingredients. Most of the cakes I make have butter and sugar mixed and then dry ingredients and wet ingredients added alternately. It makes the lightest cake because everything's incorporated. So now the wet ingredients. I have 1/4 cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. And then I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of buttermilk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So that's the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. I'm just gonna add them to the batter. So with the mixer on low, I'm just gonna add the flour, about 1/4 of it. Just add it slowly so it gets incorporated. And then the wet, about 1/3. And this is why it's so important, room temperature ingredients, including the buttermilk, because it all gets incorporated into the batter and it really makes it moist and light. Okay, another 1/3. This smells fantastic. The orange zest makes such a difference. So I want to begin and end with flour. Then the last bit of juice. And the last of the flour. This is going to make 2 orange pound cakes. Okay, batter into the pan. I've buttered and floured the pans. Don't want to make a cake that you can't get out. A little piece of parchment paper ensures that too, right at the bottom. Okay, and into the oven, 350 degrees for 45 minutes. And then I'm gonna put the orange drizzle on it. So I've cooled the cakes just long enough so that I can get them out of the pan. You want them still warm. And then I'm gonna put an orange drizzle on them. It's simply half a cup of granulated sugar mixed with a half a cup of freshly squeezed orange juice and cooked over low heat just until the sugar dissolves. So the key to the drizzle is you want the cake warm so it really absorbs the syrup. Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. Really adds an enormous amount of flavor to the cake, and because of the syrup, it keeps it really moist.